Ian Blackford.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And can I thank the Prime Minister for an advance copy of her statement. Mr. Speaker, we are in a crisis, but one of the Prime Minister's own making. Her ill-judged speech before she departed for Brussels concluded that everyone's to blame but herself, trying to put herself on the side of the people and blaming parliamentarians. Mr. Speaker, it was Trump-esque. We don't need such raw populism at a time like this. It is truly flabbergasting. Will she now apologise for blaming parliamentarians the way that she did today? The Prime Minister needs to be reminded she's supposed to be leading a country. None on these benches think she can deliver. Her backbenchers don't think she can deliver. People right across the United Kingdom don't think she can deliver. Prime Minister, time is up. Mr. Speaker, today is about parliamentarians taking back control. People at home are watching, and they are ashamed of this Parliament, ashamed of this government, ashamed of the embarrassment that British politics has become. Parliament today must move to find a consensus. We must come together and protect the interests of citizens across Scotland and all other parts of the United Kingdom. Members, we still have a choice. And, Mr. Speaker, I want to ask the Prime Minister, now with all sincerity, will she respect the will of Parliament and reject no deal? You know, when the Prime Minister is telling us that our votes don't count, at the same time Privy Councillors are being given briefings by her government, and those briefings are talking about the catastrophe and the real risks that there are to the United Kingdom, and it's the Prime Minister that is threatening the people of the United Kingdom with a no deal, and a no deal that this Parliament has already rejected. Mr. Speaker, what is the point of all of us sitting in this chamber and voting on debates, and the Prime Minister thinks she can ignore parliamentary sovereignty? What a disgrace! What an insult to this place! Because if our votes don't count, then frankly, we may as well just go home. If this House... Well, I'll tell you something, Mr. Speaker. If this Prime Minister is telling the people of Scotland that our votes don't count when we voted to remain, well, we know what the answer is. And the day is coming that the people of Scotland will vote for independence, and we will be an independent country in the European Union. So, will the Prime Minister tell us, do our votes count? Are they binding on the government, or is this just a puppet show? If that is the case, this is the greatest assault on democracy inflicted by any Prime Minister, and if members of Parliament are prepared to tolerate that, then shame on them. Shame on them. Mr. Speaker, Scotland will not be dragged out of the European Union by this Prime Minister. From the very beginning of this process, Scotland has been ignored, and now we learn that Parliament will once again be ignored. Mr. Speaker, at the weekend I was proud and privileged to take part in a historic march in London. I was proud to stand with the people alongside Scotland's First Minister and demand that the government listen to the people. And let me tell the Prime Minister this, she said that no deal is the alternative. Well, we on these benches will move revoke, because the Scottish parliamentarians have made sure that we have that power, and we will stop the Prime Minister driving us off a cliff edge. Over 1 million people marched to have the chance to vote again, to stop this chaos. Prime Minister, why are you not listening? Mr. Speaker, the PM must end this madness. Put it to the people. Let's have a people's vote.
I say to the right honourable gentleman, he was putting forward a number of proposals for the way forward in the speech that he has just given in response to my statement. There was one point at which he talked about Scotland voting to be an independent, would vote to become an independent country in the European Union. Of course, what was perfectly clear in the independence referendum in 2014, where Scotland rejected independence and decided to stay. Oh, the right honourable gentleman says, give it a rest. He stands up here proclaiming the benefits of democracy and yet tells me to give it a rest when I point out that the people of Scotland voted to remain part of the United Kingdom. And he talks about coming together. This House has a duty to deliver Brexit. That means, I believe, delivering a Brexit with a deal that enables that smooth and orderly exit. And when he asked the question about whether his vote counts and votes in this House count, then of course votes in this House count. But so do the votes of 17.4 million people who voted to leave the European Union.